Hi, beautiful children. How are you? Oh my gosh, I miss you so much, and I hope you're doing good. Hey Anthony, how are you tonight? I hope you're doing great. Have you lost any more teeth lately? And Daryl, haven't seen you in a while. I miss you, buddy. And Emma, how are you, sweetie pie? I hope you're doing good. I hear your brother Johnny's gonna be one soon. That's crazy. Hey Finley, how are you doing, sweetie? Looks like you had some fun with your flat teachers today. I love it. And Elliot, who lost a tooth, which is very cool. Elliot was very brave. And Brielle, I haven't seen you. I miss you. Hope you're doing good. And Brayden, who has been rocking his writing lately. Hi. And what about Ethan? Ethan, how are you doing, sweets? I hope your head feels better. I know last week it was hurting a little bit. And Sienna, how are you? I hope Philip and Sienna and Sophia are doing good. And Landon, are you still in Tennessee? Are you? Okay, well, I hope you make it back here safely. And Kimmy, I haven't heard from you. I hope your kittens are doing good. And Abby, what's up with you? How are you, kiddo? I hope you're doing awesome. And Avery, what's new with you? Is your mom's belly getting bigger? Because I know she's having that baby. Yeah, I bet. Magdalena, how are you doing? What's new, kid? I saw a picture of you last night and you were doing Zoom dance. That looked like a lot of fun. And good golly, Miss Molly. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing good, kiddo. And Lorelai, hello. Beautiful. Are you dancing your heart out over there at your house? I bet you are. And Colby and that beautiful smile. I hope you're doing really good. I miss you. And of course, Skyanne, who's been rocking her work at home, just like so many of you have. How you doing, sweetie? I miss you guys. And I'm so glad that you guys tuned in tonight. Sorry it's a little late, but all day today and yesterday and the rest of the week, I have had to go to school, back into our classroom, and I'm working on closing it down, which is really kind of weird for me, and it's kind of making my heart hurt a little because I'm closing it and I keep expecting to see you there. Yeah, and I really miss you, and it's really weird to be there without you, and it's really weird. I've been packing up your desks, and Mrs. Trusky has been helping me. She's been in too. So we've been packing up your desks and closing up our room, and it's just, it kind of hurts our hearts. So I'm sorry it's a little late today, but I was at work the whole day without you, and I missed you. But don't worry, I have a story for you tonight, and I think you're gonna like it. It's one of Maddie and Haley's old books, but we've read about this character 2 times now, and I love this character. I'll give you a hint. I've read you books about this character, and one of the main characters in the story has blonde hair. She's very sweet, and she's a teacher. The other character in this story, another one, has long black hair, and she's not very nice. She's very strict. She means business. Do you know who that is? Did you say Viola Swamp? And wait, did you say Miss Nelson? If you did, pat yourself on the back, say, way to go, me. Yeah, you are right. We are going to be reading another Miss Nelson book. And look who might be in this one, Miss Viola Swamp. Now, I know we've been reading and learning a lot about drawing conclusions. Do you remember those words? They're kind of big. Yeah, but they're not that scary because we've learned about them so many times already. And drawing conclusions mean that you take the information that you already have in your head and the clues that the author puts in the story to try to read between the lines. If these are lines right here, try to read between them. And you've got to try to figure out what the author isn't saying with his words, but what he's kind of implying with maybe his pictures or maybe the clues he's going to share with you, okay? So I want you to draw some conclusions about this book as we read. It's called Miss Nelson is Back, and this is by Harry Allard. He's the author, and James Marshall is our illustrator. I wonder where she was this time. Let's check it out, shall we? All right, kind of excited. I really like these books. There she is, Miss Nelson. One Friday, Miss Nelson told her class that she was going to have her tonsils out. I'll be away next week, she said, and I expect you to behave. Yes, Miss Nelson, said the kids in room 207. Uh-oh, so Miss Nelson's got to have her tonsils out. But at recess, it was another story. Wow, said the kids. While Miss Nelson is away, we can really act up. Not so fast, said a big kid from room 309. Haven't you ever heard of Viola Swamp? Who? Said Miss Nelson's kids. Miss Swamp is the meanest substitute in the whole world, said the big kid. Nobody acts up when she's around. Ooh, said Miss Nelson's kids. She's a real witch, said the big kid. Ooh, said Miss Nelson's kids. I'll just bet you get the swamp, said the big kid. Well, I'm drawing some conclusions right now. By looking at their faces, I'm using those clues and drawing a conclusion that this big kid just scared the little kids. Using those clues. Uh-oh. I'm kind of nervous. On Monday morning, Miss Nelson's kids were all in their seats. They were very nervous. Some of them had not slept well all weekend. If we get the swamp, I'll just die, said one kid. Suddenly, they heard footsteps in the hall. Slowly, the doorknob turned, and the door opened. I don't know. Should I turn the page? Do you think I should? Are you afraid? Okay, get ready. And it was Mr. Blansworth, the principal. I shall personally take over this class, he said. Oh, I guess it wasn't the swamp. Miss Nelson's kids were so relieved. But they soon learned that Mr. Blansworth was not a lot of fun. All morning, Mr. Blansworth tried to amuse the class with his corny card tricks. Oh, brother, said the class. That afternoon, Mr. Blansworth showed the class his favorite shadow pictures. This is kid stuff, said the class. While dusting erasers in the schoolyard, 3 of the ringleaders of room 207 discussed the situation. Something will have to be done, they said. We must get rid of Blansworth. And then they hatched a plan. Are you drawing any conclusions yet? I wonder what their plan will be. Let's see. After school, they painted and sewed and borrowed some old clothes. And they practiced some very difficult stunt work in the backyard. All right, so right now, use these clues to maybe figure out what they're doing. So they found old clothes, and then they're practicing walking like that. I don't really know what my conclusion would be yet. The next day, they weren't in class. That's too bad, said Mr. Blansworth. They'll miss all the excitement. Mr. Blansworth was about to show the class his collection of ballpoint pens from all over the world when someone came to the door. Slowly, the doorknob turned and opened. Oh boy, I wonder who it is. Wait a minute. What? Oh, look, said the class. Miss Nelson is back. A tall and lumpy Miss Nelson tottered into the room. All right, now, can you use the clues in the story that were before this and what you know to draw a conclusion about if that's really Miss Nelson or not? I hope you can. Mr. Blansworth was surprised. Well, you're back sooner than we expected, he said. The tall and lumpy Miss Nelson didn't speak. Said the kids. Her throat must still be sore. Are you sure you're feeling well enough? Said Mr. Blansworth. She's sure, said the kids. Well, in that case, said the principal, I'll be getting back to my office. Nice to have you back, Miss Nelson. And he left the room. Did you draw the conclusion that this isn't really Miss Nelson? I did. Let's see. Hot dog, cried the class. We got rid of Blansworth. Now we can do just as we please. And at the stroke of 10, the kids from room 207 left the building. Nobody stopped them. They went straight to the movies, where they saw The Monster That Ate Chicago twice. This is really living, they said. Afterward, they went to Lulu's, where they stuffed themselves silly. But soon they made a serious mistake. Whoa, so they left school. Wonder what their mistake is. Wait a minute. Heading back to school, they passed Miss Nelson's house. Miss Nelson couldn't believe her eyes. Those are my kids, she said in a scratchy voice. What are they doing out of school? And who is that with them? That was their mistake. They went by Miss Nelson's house. Miss Nelson telephoned Mr. Blansworth to see what was going on. You're not Miss Nelson, said Blansworth. Miss Nelson is back. And he hung up. Can't fool me, he said. Said Miss Nelson. Something will have to be done. And she went to her closet. I bet you're drawing a conclusion right now without me even talking to you about it. She's going to her closet. What conclusion are you making? I wonder what she's doing there. Let's see. Back in 207, Miss Nelson's kids were spending an agreeable afternoon together. They were very pleased with themselves. We should do this more often, they said. They did not notice the figure out in the hall. Slowly, the doorknob turned. The door opened, and my name is Viola Swamp, said a lady with a very scratchy voice. Yipes, cried the kids. It's the Swamp. That's right, said Miss Swamp, and I'm here to whip this class into shape. Get back to those desks on the double. The class did as it was told. The big kid from room 309 was certainly right. Miss Swamp was a real witch. I wonder why her voice is scratchy. She knew how to get results. The class did a whole week's of work in no time. We shouldn't have gotten rid of Blansworth, they said. Pipe down, said the Swamp, or... Just then something under a desk attracted her attention. It was a mask. Aha, said Miss Swamp. So that's your little game. And she tried on the mask just as Mr. Blansworth stepped into the room. Miss Nelson, said Blansworth, I'm of the opinion that someone has been impersonating you. Uh-oh, whispered the kids. You don't say, said Miss Swamp. Probably just some kids acting up. I'm sure it won't happen again. And Mr. Blansworth laughed. Impersonating means pretending to be her. And it won't, will it? Said Miss Swamp to the class. Because the Swamp will be watching. A minute later, Miss Nelson appeared. I'm back, she said. Hot dog, cried the kids. Are we glad to see you? Well, didn't you have fun with Mr. Blansworth? Asked Miss Nelson. Said the kids. They decided not to mention Miss Viola Swamp, but they wondered why Miss Nelson hadn't seen her in the hall. Can you draw a conclusion? Can you figure out why Miss Nelson did not see her in the hall? And why Miss Nelson went to her closet after the kids left? Why do you think that is? What conclusion are you drawing? Are you telling me that you think Miss Nelson was Miss Swamp? Oh my gosh, I bet you're right. I never even thought of that. I bet Miss Nelson was dressing up like Miss Swamp. You're right. To teach those kids a lesson. And who do you think this lady was? What conclusion did you draw about that wacky girl? You know what? This is what I was thinking. And I don't know if I'm right. Maybe you can help me. I don't know. I'm just going to suggest something. That maybe it was these kids. Because remember, they were getting clothes and gathering things and sewing things. And then they were practicing how to walk like this. So I drew the conclusion that that lady who looked a little bit goofy was not Miss Nelson, but was those kids stacked on top of each other. Ah, great job, guys. So Miss Nelson is back. It's a good book. Hey, thanks for being here. I'm sorry this book is a little late tonight. Like I said, it was a very busy day. I'll check back in tomorrow, though, with another book. It'll probably be a little later because I do have to go to school again. And it's just not the same without my favorite people there. And can you guys draw a conclusion about who my favorite people might be? Yep, it's you. You are my favorite people. My favorite little people especially. Okay, I miss you. I love you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.